What is this? The Degenerate that made streaming. 81K viewers. It's a 30-minute video. The fuck? Uh-oh.
So recently there's been a trend I came across called the Mount Rushmore trend.
Uh-oh.
Which for those of you who are uneducated is a historical monument in Washington, USA. And it represents the heads of 4 American presidents who are arguably the most important presidents in American history. But the trend involves choosing a specific category or form of media and creating your own Mount Rushmore with the 4 most impactful people involved in that thing you've chosen.
Playback
examples
speed.
of this trend include the Mount Rushmore of Minecraft content creators, the Mount Rushmore of YouTubers, there's one for esports players, there's one for games, and there's probably one for VTubers or even gay adult film actors in which Billy Harrington and Leatherman better be involved in it, or it's completely inaccurate.
Classic.
If you know, you know.
Hey buddy, I think you got the wrong door. The Leather Club's 2 blocks down.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Leatherman.
But there was one more version of this trend which was much more popular and started many debates, and that was the streamer Mount Rushmore. Even the CEO of Twitch himself, Dan Clancy, got involved, and his version was somewhat accurate, but we all know if he was to answer honestly, with him having the gooner reputation he does, all of the faces on his Mount Rushmore would have been people out of the Twitch hot tub or just chatting section. But the most obvious and common entries on that list usually involved Kai Cenat, iShowSpeed, Ninja, and either XQC or someone like Trainwrecks.
Just because I had a dream of being pounded in the ass and I was aroused when I woke up doesn't make me gay.
This is a I fucking love this
A big
clip.
ass 6'5" werewolf-looking guy with huge muscles, bare with me. And I was facing some glass.
With some other variations including Joe Bart, Forsen, Jinxie, Asmongold, and some other streamers. And this was mainly a debating topic because are you just putting these streamers on your list because you watch them and you're biased, or because they're popular, and did they really impact streaming all that much? Yes, for a completely subjective trend, you had to provide a college thesis with multiple references in IEEE formatting as to why these streamers are on your Mount Rushmore and what they did to impact streaming, and if you couldn't, your submission was obviously false. But then again, anyone that puts streamers like Rakai on their list immediately disqualifies themselves. I don't care what you say. However, with all that said, there are 2 streamers in particular that I saw were included on many Rushmores, specifically by the old heads of the streaming space, and many would cite these 2 as the founding fathers of streaming. The first one commonly mentioned was the late streamer Rekful, who was described as a pioneer within the streaming space primarily for being one of the first notable people just to stream for fun, with the purpose of entertaining people and being more personal with his
First one to do
audience.
donations.
He's also known for popularizing things like donating directly to streamers and IRL content.
That's us.
And the other person mentioned along with Rekful is someone that was actually friends with Rekful, and that was Sodapoppin. Now, Sodapoppin, like Rekful, did somewhat change the streaming space. He wasn't put on many of these Rushmores for no reason. But the thing he was mainly known for was being a complete fucking idiot for nearly 2 decades.
But what makes you so special? Because I
can't watch this. Skip forward, skip forward, skip forward, skip forward. Skip forward, can't watch, can't watch, can't watch. Can't watch, can't watch.
2008, and it's honestly amazing that this guy still streams to this day, considering the things he said and done on his stream that still follow him around to this day, and the fact that everyone around him has been involved in countless controversies. And then there's also the fact he's dating a VTuber, which is fucking disgusting. But today we're going to be going over who Chance is, how he participated in the evolution of streaming, some of the drama, and how he got to where he is today. So Thomas Jefferson Chance Sodapoppin Morris, before he was named the King Twink of Twitch, he had somewhat humble beginnings. He was born on February 15th, 1994 in Austin, Texas, USA, becoming the youngest of the family with 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
That picture.
Now Chance basically grew up on the internet and around games, but there was one game that would change his life significantly when his dad brought it home around 2003 along with Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, which was for him and his older brother. But Chance wasn't allowed to play that game first, it was his older brother's turn, so in the meantime he played the other game his father brought home.
How do you know about that?
Him and his brother weren't originally
I think I told
interested
that
in,
story.
and this was Warcraft 3. And even when it was his turn to play Wolfenstein, he still continued to play Warcraft. He was around 8 years old around this time, and he had just found his black tar heroin that he'd be hitting constantly for the years to come. When he was 10, the highly anticipated World of Warcraft was set to be released in 2004,
so
but
far,
Chance was already
accurate.
hooked on the game because his friend's dad had early access to it because he was a playtester. However, Chance could
Damn, he knows Ross. Yes, Ross's dad was the tester. Okay, he got that. That's right.
only play on the weekends because his parents wouldn't allow him to go over on weekdays to play it, but the authority of his parents apparently wasn't enough to stop his WoW addiction, because Chance would sneak out during weekdays and bike miles on his niece's pink bicycle with training wheels to his friend's house just so he could play the game.
I couldn't play WoW during the week, so I would ride my bike to his house.
Oh, I guess I literally talked about it.
But it was embarrassing
Explain
because
this.
I had to ride my niece's bike.
Dude, I don't know what I've said anymore on stream. I just assume everyone knows everything. I talk too much. Fuck, it's weird.
I was riding my bike there, and when I say my niece's bike, it was bad. It actually had training wheels on it, but I broke them off.
I actually did a full-on
I
story.
didn't break them off. I like bent them to the point where they weren't touching the ground. Here we go. It was very similar to this.
Eventually, when he was in high school, he
Damn, yeah, student of the month, by the way. That's Miss Snodgrass. She was my Spanish teacher. She's the most difficult teacher in the entire middle school. And she was notoriously difficult. And I got student of the month. Just saying. Yeah, Snodgrass, by the way. I don't know whose last name is that. It's crazy. Oh, I muted it.
Didn't trust online transactions, which is understandable. This was around the time when things like online payments were pretty new and untrusted.
My mom didn't trust anything online, but it's just the fact that you had to put in your credit card info. She didn't trust it. She agreed that she would take the risk of putting in her credit card info to pay for my $10 a month WoW subscription.
God, I fucking say everything.
I have to give her $60 a month. How'd you have that? I did chores. I had to clean the dance studio, like clean toilets. There's a dance studio, and all the girls were on their fucking periods all the time, so it's just gross.
Chance would continue to play World of Warcraft throughout high school. He was a part of a guild and played almost daily when he could. But one day in 2008, he saw one of his guildmates doing something called live streaming. He was recording his World of Warcraft gameplay live for the rest of the guild to see. And a 15-year-old Chance saw this and thought he could also do that. But keep in mind, this was before YouTube was a big thing and way before live streaming
what did I say? How do I describe? I talked about this.
We're on their fucking periods all the time, so it's just gross.
I don't want to hear this
Chance
again.
would continue to play World of Warcraft throughout high school. He was a part of a guild and played almost daily when he could. But one day in 2008, he saw one of his guildmates doing something called live streaming. He was recording his World of Warcraft
he's
gameplay
making this part
live
up
for the rest of the guild to see. And a 15-year-old Chance saw this and
there was no one streaming that made me want to do it. No. I had a guildmate recommend live streaming. No one else streamed. He said, hey, I looked at this Xfire website.
thought he could also do that. But keep in mind, this was before YouTube was a big thing and way before live streaming was commonplace, down to the fact there was very few websites you could stream yourself just playing games. But Chance would start live streaming that same year on a website that no longer exists called Xfire. It's unclear if he went under the username Sodapoppin around this time, but that name would soon be the thing everyone knew him by. The origins of his name is also unknown. It ranges from someone in his stream telling him to add soda to his original name Poppin to internet slang at the time, where Sodapoppin refers to taking a flaccid penis and inserting it into a 2-liter bottle of soda, waiting for it to get hard, and then pulling the bottle away, leading you to bust. You know what? Knowing Sodapoppin, that's probably the origins of that name. Regardless, from his first stream, Chance already had somewhat of an audience, because he was the only one on the website at the time streaming gameplay along with a face cam, and a lot of his guild members would also tune in whilst they were doing things like raids, resulting in him apparently receiving over 100 active viewers on his first stream alone.
So I'm like, let's just live stream on Xfire. So I live streamed on there. It's like, woo!
Oh my god, I have no, I don't have a double chin. I'm actually thin.
No one else to watch. Plus, I was like dealing with a webcam.
God, I hate watching myself.
And that person was Nick Pollum, or as he's known on Twitch, NMPLOL, who would basically be along for the ride as Soda got bigger and bigger.
Does NMPLOL live with Soda? You've been living with him since 2012.
10 years. We did the math. I owe him something like $172,000 in rent. Have not paid a dime. And I'm not going to.
Now, when I said Chance grew up on the internet, I think it's more accurate to say he grew up streaming. He streamed all the way from when he was a teenager to a young adult from the age of 15 to 19. And what kept people coming back was, one, the gameplay. He was pretty good at PvP within WoW. And two, unlike a lot of people that started streaming around that time, a majority of his streams he was just being himself, a goofy kid, which a lot of the time involved streaming at ungodly times on school nights and waking up his parents who weren't exactly happy his main hobby was streaming in the middle of the night.
Look at the quality. Look at the fucking the text on the left. This is the bit rate that people were stuck with. Look, you can't even read this shit in the bottom. This is not degraded quality. This is just how it was.
Joke. It's okay. You can go back to bed. What? I was just a joke. Not funny. Sorry. Yeah. What's up? What? It was just a joke.
Despite Sodapoppin getting more and more popular around
you
this
can
time,
reach it
he
there.
had to move platforms in 2012, as Xfire was quickly becoming obsolete compared to its new rival, Twitch.tv, a platform that would soon become the home of live streaming. With this, he actually managed to move a majority of his audience from Xfire over to Twitch, and he got even more viewers from the transition.
Is that me? What is this?
No, oh my god, I'm at 1,000 viewers.
Soda was now a young adult, and a lot of people were watching him now. They were mainly there for his gameplay and personality combined, but some were also there to listen to his many embarrassing stories that he kept telling whilst live with no pressure whatsoever, which led to a number of his famous tales, like the bus story and the hot tub jet story.
The hot tub one time, I did it, as a joke.
Soda would need to make a choice quite soon. He had just graduated high school and was now in college, undecided on what he wanted to study, whilst also frequently missing a lot of his classes, because he would much rather stream at that time than go to college, and it was taking off. He was averaging thousands of viewers, people knew his name within the WoW community, and direct donations to streamers through things like PayPal was now a thing, leading him in one instance to get a total of 57k through multiple donations from a single chatter known as Amahai.
I'm done. I'm not gonna. Nope. That's not what you're supposed to do with money.
Dude, there are slurs in the chat.
I'm high.
This is also around the time he started mingling with other World of Warcraft streamers
There are
like Mitch
slurs
Jones,
in that
Redfall, and his
chat,
ex-girlfriend, Leah, who his stream absolutely despised. There was a lot of drama there, and there's still a video of a musical
Oh my
rendition
God.
of how much his community hated her with over 1 million views on YouTube.
It's true.
Sodapoppin
True.
absolutely hates, like, use the shovel chants.
You know, kill a restaurant. Use the shovel.
Yeah.
Stop.
Six
Stop.
figures at the time from his stream. His parents didn't really see this as real money. They thought a lot of it was actually fake, and the only thing they did believe was that their son was constantly ditching college so he could play games and earn said fake money. So they
True.
presented him with a choice. Either he grinds college and gets his grades up, or he could continue to prioritize streaming, drop out of college, and they would basically kick him out the house. Now, Chance, being the successful streamer he was at the time,
I hate
obviously
these
chose
pictures.
to continue streaming, and he was now homeless. But not for long, as he would finally meet up with his online friend NMP LOL and move to Michigan to live with him, as Nick
True.
had also been thrown out the house for almost the same reason. So now Chance was fully focusing on streaming,
Different
and he
reason,
only
but-
continued to get bigger as the years went on. Because while streaming World of Warcraft, he made content that not a lot of people were doing.
Dude, that's my fucking debit card. Can you... How safe did I feel on camera? I just realized that is my credit card. Or debit card right there. Obviously, I've got a new one, but am I just confident in the quality just being complete shit? That is insanity.
Around that time. But the same content he was making then would later become commonplace. He was just doing it years
my
before
God.
most. He did one of the first IRL streams from his car, ordering Taco Bell before there was even a
So this wasn't on Twitch. This was on Periscope. Or how did I stream this? No, I think it was on Twitch. I think Twitch had like an early app or a way you could stream, but it was so bad they got rid of it. Or maybe it was on Justin? Twitter? I don't remember, but like IRL streaming was very difficult to do. There was a lot of janky, shitty apps. I think I remember it was on Twitch at one point, but it was bad and they got rid of it. And then they had Periscope, and then they had this, and they had that, and they had that, and then it got adjusted. I don't remember.
just chatting or
I don't
IRL section
remember.
on Twitch, which also resulted in probably the first ever stream snipe IRL.
What? I have no idea. They want to talk to me?
This is the first caller I ever experienced at any place.
Hello? Are you serious? You're on my stream.
God, this stick is huge. Where'd you get this? I'm gonna show you guys this stick that Buddy was carrying around. It's so big.
Oh yeah, dog cam. Nick set this
Buddy,
up.
oh, it doesn't even fit. It doesn't even fit in my room, Buddy.
Game eventually wasn't going in the direction he liked, so he wanted to stream other games. But that posed a risk that even streamers to this day have to deal with. Because if you're a streamer that is known for playing a certain game and you stop streaming that game, a lot of the viewers who only watch you for playing that game are gonna tune out, leading to your viewer count significantly dropping. And long term, if you keep doing this, it may possibly significantly affect your streaming career going forward. And the only way this ever works out is if the viewer is there for them and their personality, not the gameplay. Unfortunately for Chance, a lot of people were there just for him and how much of an idiot he was.
Not true.
F for Nitro?
View count was awful. As soon as I stopped streaming WoW, it was horrible. I'd say I'd probably be like at the time, I'd peak at 10K viewers, which is really good. Especially at that time, it was like one of the biggest streams. And then I would do Shit Show Saturday, I'd be lucky to get 5K. That's just how it worked. It's how it works.
That doesn't. I'm not gonna fall for that again.
And that's Shit Show Saturday. That's a big, like, a lot of effort put into the stream to get half the views. That's how it works.
Run that guy over, bitch. No one drives better than me. Bah!
Jesus Christ. And on top of that, everyone in my chat is like, no, don't stream. Like, they're begging me to not stream WoW. And then I don't stream WoW. My viewer count is, I put in way more effort and I get half the views. Isn't it? It's crazy how it's like, chat is a terrible reflection as to what the fuck actually gets you. It just doesn't. Backwards.
So how do I want to get the ribcage out? What do I want to use?
He became one of the first variety streamers, and this even developed into a stream segment called
Okay, Shit Show Saturday. Yeah.
Let's play some video games.
What the fuck? Okay.
Ridiculous Items, to say the least.
We gotta do it nice and slow. Don't be a glitter bomb.
P.O. Box.
Slow. Breakfast. Oh my god, there's a spring.
And there was also Sellout Sundays, where people could donate to play videos on his stream.
Holy. I want to have sex with my dog.
Stop.
Even one of my old videos from when I was a spam cell was played during Sellout Sunday. Good times. But from 2016 to 2019 was what some referred to as the golden era of live streaming. This is when live streaming in general was becoming more popular, and we saw a lot of new streamers like Tyler1, MizKiff, GreekGodX, and XQC.
I think XQC is probably going to be one of your next big boys. I think he's awesome. I think he's going to do great, and I think he's really doing a good job with picking the right games to play.
Also, a lot of these new streamers started to swarm Austin, Texas, where Soda lived with NMPLOL and Milena, Nick's girlfriend at the time, in his new house, which created the so-called Austin streamer scene where other streamers would constantly collab and network with others, and later on he had a hand in creating the so-called Poggers community, which involved a lot of new and old popular streamers. Moving on to 2020, we faced something that basically stunlocked the world for the next 2 years, which was the COVID pandemic, where people were forced to distance themselves from others and stay inside, and a lot of people still to this day think it permanently altered our brain chemistry, but it also resulted in the explosion of live streaming. More people were both watching and becoming streamers. It's also around the same time that Chance unknowingly once again changed the streaming game, because on an off day he had decided to play a certain game that had been out since 2018 and was basically dead, but because of him would soon be the game everyone was playing, with that game being Among Us.
That's a fun game.
This stupid game called Among Us.
Don't call it a stupid game. It's great.
Now, how do you play it? What do you do?
Yes, Sodapoppin was behind the Among Us craze. He was the first big streamer to play the game, which caused a chain reaction where many other streamers with varying size began to pick it up, resulting in it becoming one of the most viewed games on Twitch and YouTube of that time, and the game being catapulted back into relevance. Also around that time, he began to stream other games like VRChat, which not only eventually led him to his now VTuber girlfriend, but he also assisted in jump-starting the game again, even though a lot of
Slide the door, Chance. Everybody's house got burned down. Here's the... Yeah, okay.
people were already playing it, because, well, let's be honest, a lot of people were lonely during COVID.
You do it all like in one bite, all whole?
Yep, just a one big sword. Like that.
Oh my god.
However, things would take a turn for the worse in July of 2020 when, unfortunately, the well-loved streamer Regful passed away at the age of 31. He was a World of Warcraft and streaming legend on top of someone Chance competed with in the early days and was pretty close with. A majority of the streamer community mourned his passing, and Chance took a week off from streaming and even posted a video on his YouTube commemorating the time they spent together, with the common sentiment being that when Chance makes it to the age of 60, he has to follow through the promise he made with Regful.
Age
Let's come
of
back here
60.
someday when we're old. Okay. Don't forget. Really, though. Okay. When we're 64. Let's sit on this bench.
64.
Let me get a nice photo of the bench. Don't forget.
That's crazy.
Soda would eventually
I actually
return
have
to
to do
streaming,
that.
taking part in things like Among Us games, World of Warcraft, and more VRChat. He even debuted his very own VTuber model, which he supposedly spent a lot of money on, only to use it like 5 times, and we never saw it again. He also joined OTK around this time with many of the people he had known for years. But something had changed with Soda around 2021 to 2022, which, yeah, is obvious. He had been streaming for 10 plus years ever since he was a kid. Of course, he's going to change and mature a little bit, as many were saying around that time.
Dude, a lot of like my friends in WoW, when it came to the VTuber model or whatever, they thought I was going through like a crisis. They genuinely thought I was like unhinged and going through like having an episode or something. You still are? Okay. I was just fucking around. But I think I did like some TBC raids, and I raid led while being this model, and they were seriously like they told me recently, like, dude, when you were doing that, we were all talking, and it's like we were seriously questioning what was going on with you. It was bad. It was bad.
5 times.
It's
Never
so
saw
fucking
it again.
hilarious.
He also joined OTK around this time with many of the people he had known for years. But something had changed with Soda around 2021 to 2022, which, yeah, is obvious. He had been streaming for 10 plus years ever since he was a kid. Of course, he's going to change and mature a little bit. As many were saying around that time, it seemed like he cared a lot less and was a bit more grumpy than usual.
Soda did make me, but Soda became weird. Soda's like weird these days. He's like anti-everything, like edgy Andy. I don't know what's going to him, dude.
I am.
He's like I hate everything, grumpy. Like, what is happening with him, man?
Chance was getting burnt out from streaming. He had at this point been streaming consistently for a decade, and he was just tired from streaming that long and dealing with some of the brain-dead people in his chat on the daily. And yes, he knew he was in a great position that many people would die for, and had always spoke about how streamers have it significantly easier than most jobs. But he felt like he was forcing himself to stream, which significantly affected said streams, and he also didn't like the way Twitch was changing.
Now, PO boxes and Sell Sundays, when I did them, was very... My chat was ruined, my view count was at an all-time high, and I hated everything about it. Guys get hit. How big is this game on Twitch? I mean, truth be told, I don't think it really matters anymore, because the just chatting section is so fucking big, and that's all that matters now on Twitch.
True.
Like, you can't actually grow as a streamer by playing games. You can just stay where you are permanently. So if I played this game, it would be purely not a business decision, but a personal decision.
Was... Yeah. It's been about 5 years since this clip. This is living... I still live with Nick and Milena. I'm in this bed. Oh my God, this might have been 6 or 7 years. Oh, this is all really old. And yep,
try it out. That sounds really stupid to do. So business-wise, Corpa, I should not play Monster Hunter. Instead, the smart move, I should react to videos and stay under just chatting. But if I were to just play whatever I want, what would that even be? For the king? That's not good. I know. It's not good. This is bad for business. Dude, maybe I should get banned again. That's another play.
Chance would get banned on Twitch in April of 2022 for creating an in-game character that many thought was blackface and racist. But he later explained in a comment he was just trying to make it look like Mr. Potato Head, and when he realized what he was doing, he tried to move away from that, adding
Holy
more
fuck,
things
I typed
to
up
it,
a
which actually just
paragraph.
made things worse.
Did anyone even
He'd get
read
banned
that?
for 14 days, but after his ban ended, he still didn't come back. He actually began streaming a lot less in that year and the next compared to previous years because he just didn't feel like it and preferred to play games off stream. And it's not
Sure.
like he had to stream. He probably made enough money to live comfortably. He just, once again, was tired. It would later become
Just didn't
normal for
want to.
Soda to disappear from streaming out of nowhere for days, weeks, or even months, and then he'd abruptly return, going back to streaming 8 to 12 hours daily, only to then probably disappear again.
I am back. Kind of. We'll see how long.
He also moved out of the house where he was staying with NMP LOL, ending their 10+ years of living together, where Nick did not have to pay a single dime in rent, and Soda could also be seen taking part in OTK events, even when he was taking breaks at times. However, Chance wasn't the only one changing. As said, streaming in general was evolving. There were new personalities, new metas, view botting became a big problem, and there was a lot more drama, which could also be used to get more views. New personalities,
I
new
understand
metas, view botting became a big
that, like, viewbot, like, the extra, I understand why Extra Emily is the view botting face right now because of that one clip of, like, the website, but she's actually not the biggest culprit. And so I feel bad that she's like this face. She's not. I don't even think she's, I'm not going to say she's never view botted because I don't actually know, but I really don't think she has. But I do know people who have, and they're not even thrown into the list. It's crazy how they're just queue dodging. She has, well, I think she's an easy target, and there's the clip of her having the website open, but she wasn't even viewbotting at the time. She's had viewbotting.com open. She's probably looking at it, thinking about doing it, truth be told. But stats-wise, no, she didn't. If you look at the actual stats. Nowadays, I don't know if you can actually tell, because nowadays, you viewbot, and you can viewbot so easily and actually completely slide it under the radar. You can get chatters that are fake, so they're like an active chat. You can make the viewbot slowly increase your view count so you don't have this giant avalanche or fucking canyon of viewer count increase. But even with all of those tools available, most of these fucking retards still go live instantly. You can just see that 20,000 viewers 5 minutes into the stream. You just see it. It's right there. And there's other stats too you can go through, and it's like they don't even utilize that. So they don't even do a good job at cheating. It's insanity.
Problem, and there was a lot more drama, which could also be used to get more views, leading to things like clip farming and other things which Soda just wasn't used to as an older streamer. And somehow this led to a conflict with the newer streamers that Soda didn't even know he was involved in.
Half these big streamers are fake. They are faking their views.
So what's the deal with you and Ron going at it? What's going on with
keep
that?
going after
How do you
Ron?
not? First off, how do you not know where Ron came, Stable Ronaldo?
I'm going after Stable Ronaldo? Labs back at Sodapoppin for questioning how he and Jason the Ween became popular. Bro.
And speaking of drama, within this time period, almost everyone around Soda was involved in drama, and the so-called Austin scene or Poggers community was slowly unraveling. There was the Miskiff allegations, the NMP LOL messy divorce, Greek God X had his own thing, and half of OTK left or were caught up in some serious allegations. There was the Lakari situation. There was the pirate software drama, which originated in Chance's fucking World of Warcraft guild and was the first domino in his later downfall. It just seemed like everybody except Soda was finding themselves in drama. Yes, the guy who usually said what was on his mind and was a self-admitted degenerate was finding himself in less drama than the people around him. And if he was in drama, it was usually the most nothing burger thing that would blow over in a day, like when he stopped streaming RuneScape or because he complained about the way streaming was in the current day. And the lack of drama surrounding Soda is probably because of the way he is. When he streams, he usually isn't putting on an act or playing a character or even pushing his content in order to raise his view count. He keeps to himself, is just himself, and is probably one of the most honest streamers on Twitch to this day.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
To admitting a few things he probably shouldn't under zero pressure.
Yeah, the thing about the fly is you gotta warm it up in the sink. Yeah. And that's a pain. You don't have to. I know you could do it cold, but that's a little weird. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, it's not a cleanup, dude. You know you could never use rice. Take a banana, all right? Cut off about a third of it, or kind of size, and then you squeeze out all of the mushy. You just need the peel, only the peel.
I've done this before.
Microwave.
Okay, let's just not listen
Some
to
of
that
his
story.
viewers have even been around since 2013. He's grown up streaming and never really hard pivoted or attempted to be anyone else. He's always been Sodapoppin. But anyway, cheesiness to the side, Soda nowadays streams whenever he feels like it, playing random games, which for the
Not
most part
true.
looks like
I
he
have a set
enjoys
time.
playing. He's been doing more IRL
And I go live
content,
when I'm not in the
recently showed
mood.
off his new house with his 3 dogs, 2 cats, and VTuber girlfriend, and he's still friends with many of the people he came up with, seeing them regularly. And credit where credit is due if it wasn't for Sodapoppin and coming across one of his sellout Sundays in 2018 when I was
racist and sexist.
Extremely. Oh yeah, extremely racist, extremely sexist. Of course.
spam cell, I probably wouldn't be as into watching streamers as I am now, and I probably wouldn't have found other streamers to watch through him. And from my experience, he is a pretty entertaining streamer to watch. Admittedly, on a second monitor, I still don't understand how people will sit down and watch an entire stream all the way through. Like, come on. Anyway, this is just something I wanted to yap about today. Don't forget how much of a loser you are, and yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, the main point of the video was the fucking wall of faces. What's it called? Mount Rushmore. If we're going to go to that, yeah, I mean, by definition, Mount Rushmore is supposed to be the people that first did something, right? Yeah, I should be on that list. Absolutely. It's that simple. And Reckful should be there because Reckful literally made donations. That was a big thing. I think Ice Poseidon should be on there because Ice Poseidon kind of was the first to really do IRL and make it big. Who else would I... like actually big important stuff? I mean, shit, it might even just have to be like Man vs. Game or someone, because they kind of started variety streaming early on. Trying to think. Lyric, yeah, Lyric could be on there. Lyric was no face cam, big streamer. It's a big deal. It's impactful, showing you could even do that. But then you can also argue things like, well, Ninja brought streaming to very mainstream, like Ellen DeGenerate and shows like that. That was the first time streaming was ever that mainstream. That's a big deal if we're just going to talk about these important things, right? Trying to think of what other stuff. Like, just because someone gets views, it's whatever. There's a lot of people that just get views. I was also the first streamer to have a spammy chat. That was my first. I remember Twitch had a meeting about whether or not to ban me because my chat was so toxic. It was very spammy. And that was kind of a big reason as to why my stream did well, was I allowed my chat to be fucking cooked. If you could go back to chats back then, like you can even go to VODs of Reckful. Really early on, it was like conversations. People were having conversations. You don't have that now. You have like omega low, lol, like it's just 7, 6, 7, whatever. So that was a big deal, and they had a meeting about whether or not to ban me, and they had a vote, and I was told this by multiple Twitch staff members. That vote barely passed of keeping me or not banning me. It was very close. They thought about shutting down all chats, like basically banning me because of my chat. Right? It was a big decision. Very close. And who knows if I got banned for that and I now had to police my chat and force it into a more conversation type mode. I mean, think about the butterfly effect. I mean, Forson's chat would be cooked. Like, it wouldn't have that. Or maybe down the line there would have been another vote and it would have, the floodgates would have been unleashed later on. But yeah, it's different. No one would have chats. Well, they did at the time. I'm telling you, they had conversations. But yeah, now everyone's chat is just spammy and ridiculous.
Made you anyways, Soda. When
True.
Are you moving to China with Vey?
I don't know. We're thinking about it. China looks good. Big fan. Big fan. $2 an hour minimum wage. That sounds about right.